All right, YouTube, Jonathan here, and it's time to take a look at the overall Allied strategy for Axis and Allies Classic. So we have three countries to worry about: the Soviet Union, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Soviet Union is going to be focused on pinning Germany in, like we talked about in my Soviet video, between Karelia and Eastern Europe. Is typically where the pile is, but as long as you control Karelia, you can keep Germany pinned in. You can keep it really from doing much expanding this way, which is really where it wants to go, while the other allies, U.S. and England, coordinate, make sure Germany can't count on I can't talk. Count on production for long from Africa, and then they'll slowly put the squeeze on Germany while you keep it pinned in. That's going to be your objective. And you're going to want to slow down Japan as much as possible. It's important to you that both of the allies are on the same page, that England isn't forced to fend for itself, that if the U.S. is going after Japan, it either is doing an incredible job or it is moving up here to help reinforce you, because both other allies need to make sure that you stay in decent condition as long as possible. And typically that's going to mean England and the United States coordinating. England is going to want to pay very close attention to the naval situation here, very close attention to the situation in Karelia, being that it is in the best position to reinforce there. And aside from Russia, take Finland, Norway, and get some extra production. So it's going to be England's job to reinforce you in Karelia as much as possible, just to, again, to make sure Germany doesn't break out, and all the while finding ways to put the pressure on Germany, whether it means attacking in Western Europe, 1-2 punch with the United States, or just picking off weakened territories or anything like that. Now for the United States, it is primarily going to want to focus on Germany. Again, like I said, coordinate with the United Kingdom to make sure that both of your navies survive early, and then eventually you'll split off, like I've talked about in some other videos. You'll want to coordinate extremely closely. I can't stress that enough, both in terms of surface fleet. You might share a carrier. One person might build a carrier. The other one might put fighters on it. I mean, who knows? But you want to make sure that, especially early on when your fleets need to move together, wherever you want to go, United States, you and England are on the same page. That way it can move its fleet there first, and then you can move your fleet to follow, and both of your fleets are together every time Germany takes a turn. You also, as the United States, are going to want to take the lead in focusing on Africa, while England is, again, more focused up here. You will want to help them out or take the lead in liberating Africa and keeping the Germans from getting a bunch of production here. You probably are not really going to be fighting Japan. The U.S. is the only country that can. And unless you fighting Japan is forcing them to pull significant resources away from their Asian campaign, and or you're using it to reinforce in an effective way, not just, a couple of troops that don't really help, but reinforce in an effective way the Soviet Union to slow the Japanese down. Ultimately, regardless of how you do it, if you're going to mess around over here, it better be to slow down the Japanese, either by distracting them from a naval perspective, they have to devote resources here, or by building defenses in Asia and slowing them down that way. If you're going to fight Japan, that's what you need to do. And I certainly recommend a little bit of that, at least destroying their fleet so they can't just, run roughshod all over the place. But aside from that, these islands aren't really worth a whole lot. If they see you building up a lot, they're likely to build up at least a little bit to hassle you, to prevent you from, getting their core territories over here. Excuse me. So generally, it probably isn't going to be worth it for you. I do recommend a kill Germany first strategy. If possible, that tends to work pretty well, especially given how quickly Japan's able to expand and how hard it is to stop them. You can only kind of slow them down, but how easy it is, at least for the first couple turns, to hem Germany in over here, preventing them from getting a lot of production and really building up. It just, from my experience, it works a lot better to do it that way. So that is my take on Allied strategy for Axis and Allies Classic. If you have any thoughts on that or any suggestions on things that the Allies might do instead that you think would be equally or more effective than what I've outlined here, I'm definitely interested in hearing those. And I hope you guys enjoyed this retro look back at the original Axis and Allies.